Welcome back to Investing with Confidence, sponsored by Online Trading Academy, an academy that trains people just like you how to trade, how to invest in the financial markets, stocks, options, futures, Forex. And we have investing classes at our local academies. If you're listening to the show, we have a class near you. For free tickets for this class, get your phones ready. I'm going to give a text number. Text the word investing to the number 210-210. That's investing to the number 210-210. For some tickets, also a quick start kit that includes some free stock picks to kind of see how supply and demand really works in the financial markets. And that was some of the things we mentioned about, Al, in the last segment, is supply and demand. And you have to understand the fallacies, as you talk about, the misconceptions of the markets. What's really moving the markets is the institutions, banks, the big money, we call it the smart money, Wall Street. They move the market. And what we want to identify is an imbalance of supply and demand, especially if you're looking for an income strategy from the market. So let's talk about some of those income strategies that might be available to the public that the institutions are using every single day.
Right. Regardless of whether you're looking at trading for short-term income or investing for long-term wealth, it's still that relationship between supply and demand that's important. And think about this. If you're going to invest in something, you buy something, you put an order together for a particular stock, for example, or for a contract on something, you want the price to go up. If you're selling something, you want the price to go down. So wouldn't it be important to understand what causes that to happen? Why does price go up for something? Why does price go down? There's really only one reason. Let's keep it simple. It's buyers cause price to go up, sellers cause price to go down.
You're right.
It's that relationship between supply and demand, or buyers and sellers, that move the market.
Yeah, and that's what we talked about in that last segment, is so many people that want to get in the markets, they're just not comfortable getting in or starting because they just don't know how it actually works. And you really do, as Al's talking about, you have to keep things simple.
Yeah, absolutely. It's all part of a plan that we help you put together, but there's so much information out there that complicates things. You know, people walk by the financial section in the library and they look at all the books there and they think, whoa, this is way too complicated for me, and they don't do anything. You know, and I talked about that in that first segment. People are not doing this because they don't have the confidence, they don't have the knowledge, and Wall Street has done a good job of making it complicated. So the easiest thing for you to do is go to Wall Street and say, here's my money, you take care of it for me. And what they're going to do in most cases is put you in something that really is geared towards the long-term part of your financial world. That's what you're going to rely on down the road, your wealth buildup, your retirement. Well, one of the problems is that, especially now with inflation at basically 41-year high, I mean, gas prices are unbelievable. Food prices have gone through the roof. Housing, energy, all of those things are at highs right now, which for a lot of people means they don't have a lot of extra money. The money that they have, the money that they get from their income, goes to paying the bills, just staying alive, with nothing left over, very little left over for fun, or more importantly, for that wealth bucket down the road.
That's the way to build it, is having multiple streams.
Yeah, and just look at what's happened in the housing market. You know, 30-year mortgage rates have gone from around 3% up to 6%, and for some people, that means that it's cost them about $165,000 in purchasing power for homes. Yeah. So sellers are going to get hurt. They're not going to be able to get the high prices that they have become used to. The bidding wars probably are going to go away. People may have to rely on a smaller home, or maybe not the neighborhood they want it to be in. But prices are going up all over. Even a Hershey's chocolate bar, up 17%. There's a watermelon called a Black Diamond watermelon. Great, fantastic tasting. Mm-hmm. Last year, they were about $8 a piece. This year, I went to a stand, one of those produce stands, $14 for a watermelon. I mean,
that's crazy.
That hits people. That's like a cut in pay for you almost on a monthly basis.
Yeah, and that's why it is so important to have more than one income strategy in your life. Just kind of going to that home example you were talking about. You know, you look back at, this could be a big opportunity for us, you know, once our listeners understand how the markets function. What happened in 2008 when the housing market crashed?
Yeah.
It brought the stock market with it. So is this stock market drop? Is it done yet? I don't know. It doesn't, who knows, right? I don't have a crystal ball. But there are ways to be positioned for this down market. This could be the best wealth building opportunity that we might ever see in our lifetime, but you have to be prepared before it happens. Has it started? Potentially. Could it potentially keep going? Potentially. Like how I said that, potentially, because we don't know, but you have to have proper parameters to do that confidently. And if you're one of those people that have always wanted to get started, learn these different income strategies and use the market for that, you have to get comfortable and you have to keep the market and keep the strategies. You have to keep that simple. How you do that is you get some training, some education. We have free investing classes at our local academies. If you're listening to the show, we have classes on the weekends, Saturdays. We have these classes during the week as well. And these are classes where we've taught thousands, just like you, are many strategies which are designed to teach you to make better investing decisions. So let's go with this. Get your phones ready. I'm going to give a text number here and a word to put in there for 2 free tickets for this investing class. Text the word investing to the number 210-210. That's investing to the number 210-210, but also a quick start kit. And this will actually help you get started right away. So, Al, people that, you mentioned the watermelon. Who would have thought a watermelon would be $17?
$14.
$14.
Almost twice the cost of last year.
Speaking of watermelon, I bought one yesterday. I don't remember the cost. I should know, but I don't. But I do remember they had 5 little slices of a watermelon, and that was like $5, $6. This particular watermelon was less than that. A full watermelon. It's crazy what these things cost just for a little bit of service, right? But that's what people want to pay for, but it is not free. It comes to an expense. So that's why having these income strategies is so imperative in the financial markets. What are some of the good assets to utilize for an income strategy?
Well, there are a number of them. Again, Wall Street is typically going to put people into a long-term strategy, which is basically a stock market portfolio. It could be stocks, it could be mutual funds. But if you need cash now, if you have immediate needs for more money, you can't rely on something that is intended to be held for 10 or 20 or 30 years. If you need additional money, you need it now. Maybe that covers some emergencies. Also, when you look at that long-term portfolio, your wealth, what you're going to rely on in retirement, where does the money that funds that come from? It comes from additional income that you have now. So when you've done paying your bills, when you're done having a little bit of fun, if there isn't an additional amount of money to put into your retirement accounts, there's nothing there when you retire, or very little there. So there are strategies that Wall Street uses on a daily basis to generate cash. They don't hire people and pay them millions of dollars a year to put one portfolio together and then not do anything for 10 or 20 years.
Yep.
They're trading every day. There are assets that are available to you, and I think this is one of the things that confuses people. They think that Wall Street uses things, the big institutions use things that are not available to them, or that those things require so much money to invest in that they can't do it. We're talking about things like the futures market, the foreign exchange market, the options market. One of the great things about all 3 of those markets is it allows you to participate in a high-valued investment for a small upfront cost.
You're right.
It's like a mortgage on a home. You have a down payment that allows you to control the value of something that maybe is 10 times the amount of that down payment.
Yeah, just to kind of keep the theme going of the show is people want to be more comfortable getting in the markets. You hear these different terms, futures, Forex, options. It's just a word.
Correct.
Right? But you have to be comfortable doing that. And I think that's why a lot of people haven't got into it, because they just don't know what that was.
Right.
That's why it's so important just to understand that. I mean, people that listen to the show, for several weeks or months or even years, they kind of know what we speak about every single week. But in these investing classes, you can actually see that, see how that's done, see what those markets actually are. So what is the futures market? What is the Forex market?
Yeah, and there's a reason that we've got somewhere between 90,000 and 100,000 students worldwide. There's a reason that the majority of them, maybe in the 90% range, don't trade stock. They trade futures, Forex, or options.
Or they may trade stock, but they still trade stock and futures.
And they may do a combination of them, right? But their go-to, the one that they really are interested in, seems to be futures, forex, or options. The reason for that is that the benefits that they provide that you just haven't been taught about. With futures, forex, and options, you have that leverage. It could be anywhere from maybe 10 to 1 to 100, 200 to 1, depending on the particular asset and the strategy you're using. Futures and forex trade basically 24 hours a day. You've got a lot of versatility there as to when you're trading.
So what does that mean, though? So say if somebody works, we got a lot of 9-to-5ers that listen to the show, and we got the show that runs every single day during the week, but also on our podcast, Investing with Confidence on the podcast, but also the YouTube show. So they are able to listen to the show at any time. But if these people are working during the week, you do have an opportunity to trade at night. And that's what it's all about, is being able to do your job and something. Right. If you go get a second job, it's kind of tough.
Well, there's a lot of things that happen when our market is closed that impact our stock market when it opens the next day. You can still participate in what's happening internationally by using things like the futures market, the foreign exchange market. They're great assets because they require a smaller amount of money in an account to participate in something much bigger because of that leverage. Again, you've got the 24-hour trading. They also have a great tax advantage. They're basically more short-term trading vehicles. Again, if you're looking for immediate help with additional cash, if you need some additional short-term income, you have to be able to access something that you can get into and out of with your potential profit in a short period of time.
Yeah. So if somebody has like a IRA or 401k, they can't just pull that money out right away, right? But if you have a regular income account, we'll call it a retail account, you have access to take cash out of there at any time?
Sure. Absolutely. Yeah. You can take it out anytime. Maybe you're looking for, if some people might be looking for daily income and want to trade daily. That's fewer and fewer people are doing that, but it's possible to do that. Maybe weekly income, monthly income. That's what you need if you're looking for additional cash to help you maybe elevate your lifestyle while you're still working, maybe to pay some more bills or have some money for emergencies. I think the stats are that the majority of people in the country can't even cover a $400 emergency bill.
Yeah,
in fact, I've been looking at several studies recently, depending on the study, anywhere from 58% to 78% of the people in this country live paycheck to paycheck. Mm-hmm. And that includes people that make over $250,000 a year. Almost 30% of the people that make over $250,000 a year are living paycheck to paycheck.
Yeah, I want to talk about some of that stuff in that next segment too, especially because we're going to talk a lot about the retirement, 401ks, IRAs, and I believe I sent you an article not long ago, Al, by Market Watch, and it was a study that one of the big mutual fund companies did, and it's amazing how bad it was for the public, but they continue to do the same thing. And they say, oh, don't look at your statement. It's so crazy. Remember the fallacies. Remember, you're being conditioned to do what they want.
Right.
That's why you're being conditioned to do stock trading.
Right.
You need to be in these other assets that allow leverage, allow you investors to use less capital because you have buying power. You're more efficient with the capital that you have, just like buying a house. You don't have the whole capital for the house. Well, mortgage, that's efficiency with your capital. Same thing in the financial markets. Futures, Forex, options allows that to average people, to the everyday people to learn, but you got to learn how to do that. And that's why we have these investing classes. The theme of the day is being comfortable. If you want to be more comfortable getting started with some of these different things, you just got to learn about it. It starts with a little bit of knowledge, then you got to build a skill. The knowledge starts in these free classes. Al, you teach these all the time. I teach these as well. And these are classes where we've taught thousands, just like you, our various strategies, which are designed to teach you to make better investing decisions, whether you're looking for short-term income strategies or long-term wealth strategies. So get your phones ready. I'm going to give you a text number here. So text the word investing to the number 210-210. That's investing to the number 210-210. You're going to receive 2 free tickets. Most people bring their spouse to these investing classes. We've seen a lot of families, Al, coming into these classes. People bringing their kids, which is pretty cool. But you're also going to receive a quick start kit that will help you get started right away, start that comfort process. Coming up next, Al, I want to talk about those wealth opportunities and some of those studies that we've seen with 401ks and IRAs. Make sure to check out our YouTube, Investing with Confidence, and also the podcast, wherever you listen to podcasts online. This is Josh and Al. We will be right back.